دیگه دیدن نمیتونه. چشمش خم است، از ما شما نیست، به خاطری که دروغ گفته.
Afghan Americans in the San Francisco Bay Area held their third rally since the Taliban took power in Afghanistan. This time, the rally was held in San Francisco on Saturday, August 28th. The unanimous sentiment was hostility to the Taliban and also a demand that Afghani refugees be allowed into the United States. Extremely significant is the fact that there were no illusions expressed in U.S. imperialism. Here are some Burmese Americans who came to show solidarity. They have been protesting the coup in their country for months. I was extremely happy that I had told them about this rally, and hopefully their presence will be a step towards further solidarity between these two oppressed peoples. The hostility to the Taliban, combined with hostility to U.S. imperialism, as expressed in many of the signs. But the left-wing opposition to U.S. imperialism was most clearly expressed by the last speaker, and note the extreme enthusiasm with which his speech was met.
Zindabad Afghanistan! One of my great-grandparents is Afghan. And I relate to the present situation as much as a Pakistani American. I grew up hearing tales of the US-backed military dictator who basically vilified the entire religious community that my family belongs to and more or less chased us out of the country. I am an American because the crimes of our military-industrial complex started well before the last 20 years. But we have seen, over the last 20 years, sustained lies of every conceivable variety. And I want to talk about two kinds of lies in particular that we have heard from Washington that created the mess, the humanitarian disaster that we see today in Afghanistan. The first is drone strikes, and the second is torture. We know that in drone strikes, 9 out of 10 of the casualties are unintended, so-called collateral, effectively random deaths. The U.S. military whistleblower who told us this is currently serving a multi-year sentence in federal prison for the crime of alerting the American public to how our resources are being used. Are you okay with that? With respect to torture, no U.S. executive officials have ever been held accountable for torture at sites including Bagram Air Force Base, 40 miles outside of Kabul, where innocent people were beaten to death. We face in the war on terror a battle for hearts and minds. There is no surer way to lose it than torturing the people who we are supposedly trying to help. We have to look through the lies from Washington and Langley that stretch around this planet, that stretch across decades. We are here today to support refugee resettlement, to support humanitarian aid, and to keep the Pentagon's grubby, lying hands off of a country that has borne the brunt of 20 years of lies and imperial hubris. Thank you. Zindabad Afghanistan! Zindabad Afghanistan! Thank you for being here today.